Hey there! In today's video we're going to create a scraper that will fetch the trending stocks from Yahoo Finance. Before getting started, let me show you what I'm actually talking about. So let's go to Yahoo Finance's website. It's finance.yahoo.com. And we'll see the basic search bar. And if we click on it, we'll find the trending stocks. What we will do is create a Python script that will periodically fetch those trending tickers and store them in a CSV file. So let's get started. So one way of accessing the information would be to just scrape the HTML file. But although Yahoo Finance doesn't officially support an API, we can still access it. So if we right click and go to inspect and network and just refresh the page, we will see the information that gets loaded. And if we pause it and go at the start, we will find this one with the trending stocks. Let's just copy the URL and open it in a new tab. Okay, as we can see, the first one is Amazon, the second one is HOOD, I don't know what it is, but it coincides with the trending stocks, okay? So we will use that URL. Let's just copy the URL and paste it inside of a Jupyter notebook. Let's declare it as a variable. URL equals to this one. And also go ahead and import the request library, import requests. And let's also do the request. Response equals, I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to a new keyboard layout. So equals requests.get and the URL. And let's see what it returns. Return response.content. Forbidden. Okay. So let's try adding a user agent to the header. User agent examples. That should do it. Okay. This one looks fine. And let's declare it here. Header equals, it's a dictionary if I'm not mistaken, and that should be user agent this thing, and let's pass it as a parameter. Headers equals header. Let's try again, and now it worked. Let's take a look at what the data looks like. Response.json. Okay, it seems like we are interested in accessing this stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. It looks like it's inside finance, results, and it would be the first item of the results object. Let's try that. Let's store it in a variable. Data equals response.json. That's right. Let's print it again. Okay, so now let's access finance. And inside of finance, results. Let's see how that looks like. Okay, that's an error. I think it was result without the S. That's right. And now if we pay close attention, we will see that it's inside of these square brackets. So now we would have to access the first item. That's right. And now let's access quotes. Quotes. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so now we would iterate over it. So let's do for index quote in enumerate and this. print index quote. That seems right. Okay, so we should also be interested in adding the date and time at which we perform the request. Let's just copy this one and import also datetime. From datetime import datetime and create an empty list in which we will append every data point. Let's call it trend underscore list, and let's create it as an empty list. And now let's iterate again over the result. Okay, before doing that, let's store the date time in a variable. Let's call it date time string equals date time UTC now, to have the date time in the UTC time zone, and time, and we'll use the following format. It will be year, month, day, hour, minute, and second. I'm missing this sign before each one. I don't know if that's correct. And go to the loop. Trend underscore list dot append date time string, and inside of the quote, like here, let's access the symbol, quote symbol, and let's also get the order in which each symbol appears. So that would be index plus 1, because as you can see here, it's base 0. Okay, let's run that and print the trend list and see how it looks like. Trend list. Okay, it actually looks pretty good, so let's go ahead and continue. The next step would be to store everything on a CSV file. So let's go ahead and do that. So we should import the CSV library and do the following. With open, let's call the file Yahoo Finance underscore trending.csv, and let's use the A method, which stands for append. New line equals empty, ask F. Let's call it writer equals CSV dot writer F, writer dot write rows, open parentheses, and our list, trend list. Let's run that and let's see how it looks like. So I'm on my root folder. Let's open the file Yahoo Finance trending, edit. Okay, that looks actually pretty good. So let's go ahead and continue by creating a loop that will run every minute and append the information to this file. Okay, let's put everything together inside a nicer looking function. Let's call it define get underscore trending, and let's see, we have the trend list. Let's put it here, the headers, the URL, and the response. Let's indent everything nicely. That's it. The date time end the loop, which is this one here. Okay. I need to indent this. Okay, let's look everything again. We have the trend list, the URL, the header, the request, but we are not getting the JSON. That's missing. So let's get here. That's right. Data equals response.json. And that should do the trick. Let's check it out. I also need to create a function that will append the data. So let's do that also and define it append underscore data. And it will receive the data as an input. Let's indent this. And that should do the trick. Let's call append data after getting the data. Append data. And send the trend list. Okay, let's call the function and see if it appends new data correctly to the file. Get trending, and get trending is going to call append data after running, and that should store the data again into the CSV file. Let's check it out. Let's look at the file. And that's right. Okay. These were the first 5. Here the second 5. And as we can see, the list is exactly the same because Yahoo Finance refreshes it on a discrete interval. I think it's about 40 minutes or 1 hour. Let's run this function every, I don't know, minute. Okay, let's create a loop and run it in a discrete interval of, I don't know, 10 seconds in order to test it. Then let's import time and define get trending loop. That's right. It will just do the following. While true. The funny thing about true is that it's always true. Let's call get trending and sleep. I don't know how many seconds. Let's get that as a parameter. Let's call it pause. Pause. That's right. And let's test it. Get trending loop. And let's do it once every second. I guess it's working, but let's just also print something. Let's stop it. And after each iteration, let's print scraping trending symbols. Let's see. Okay, that seems to be working. Let's pause it and see how the file looks like. Okay. As we can see, we have a lot of data already, but there's definitely no need to scrape it every second. So let's do it every, I don't know, minute or so. And that's actually it. And I'll see you in the next one.